Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So we're live now, and I have three great guests here with me. We'll probably have some more joining us as time goes on. So today we're going to be talking about professionalism in the comic book industry, both the good and the bad, so the lack of professionalism as well. We've all had experiences with Comics Pros online that weren't that great. So we'll probably get into that as well as some good experiences. So first off, I want to introduce everybody. We've got number one Marmaduke fan here.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on DC Fans United.
Absolutely. How are you doing today?
Doing good.
Cool, cool. Thanks for being here. We've also got Bob Jones.
Hello, America. Bob Jones here.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. And we also have Nerdette, Tristan. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, great. I'm glad that you were able to be here.
Me too.
So we'll also have hopefully Unranked Chevron supposed to be here, and maybe a couple other special guests will arrive when we get, when they get the opportunity to join us. So yeah, we've all kind of had different run-ins with Comics Pros on Twitter in particular. And I think it's a little strange, for me in particular, because the whole reason people, we follow these Comics Pros is because we like their work. Like, we don't follow them because we don't like them. But oftentimes, once we do follow them, we are pushed away for very little to no reason. So in my experience, that's been kind of hard, honestly. I've had that happen multiple times and even reached out to Comics Pros like Patrick Zurcher and Jerry Conway. I think actually my very first live stream, well, first or second, but it was about Jerry Conway and reaching out to him and, seeing if we could find more common ground, but he wasn't interested in that. So with that in mind, I guess we'll just kind of open it up for you guys. Marmaduke, what are some of your thoughts on this?
Well, it's something that really kind of animated me into talking about indie comics, where at first I just made a Twitter handle just to chat about comics. And then I was surprised at how rude they'd be to me, up to the point of like slandering me, like you would hear, when you hear people say, oh, comics professionals are being rude, you think, well, that's not nice, but how bad could it be? And then you'll just be like talking or making fun of someone, or, at the worst, maybe like having a little tongue-in-cheek comment, and then they'll just come back at you with the nastiest stuff, and it just kind of knocks you back. Like, how did you get to where you are in life, not knowing the stuff I learned working in a gas station? I'd have been fired in a second from selling hot dogs if I treated any customer that way.
Yeah, that's exactly it. If, anyone who's had a customer service job, it's really striking the way they talk down to the literal customers. And it's not all the pros, but there's certainly some culprits. And by and large, they almost never, if ever, get called out for it by their peers.
It's tragic. It's a travesty.
It really is. But, one thing I found ironic about it, too, is they will hold people who aren't their peers, who aren't Comics Pros, to a much higher standard than they'll hold their own, coworkers to.
Yeah.
Oftentimes.
I think so. The phrase I like to use is, if they didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards at all. Like, the people who are in your in group, you don't want them salty with you when you're around the water cooler, but unnamed people online, it feels easier to say, oh, you're a Russian bot, or whatever, and they don't translate that into, this is maybe like a really passionate customer or a reviewer at a time where, these titles could sink or float, based on how just a little passion could be the difference between a series being canceled too soon and having a life.
Yeah. By and large, it's strange because they often don't seem that concerned about their book selling well, which is something I can't really wrap my head around either. If I were I am a content creator, but if I were creating a comic book, I would be all about that, you know. I would be promoting the heck out of it. I would be passionate about it. I think before I talked about that before, where maybe it's because it's not their IP, you know, if someone's writing Superman today, they weren't the creator, you know, maybe the passion just isn't there, but there's a, it seems like a whole bunch of factors are combining for just a very strong lack of professionalism.
Yeah.
And really, too, gosh, what was I going to say about what we were saying earlier about, oh, they're holding people to a different standard. There's so many examples of that, but I think one of the biggest ones would be the whole, what is it, Roddy Rodriguez thing,
Right.
right?
Literally sharing a picture of his naked rear end in its
Yeah,
full glory.
posting it on Twitter when it wasn't age restricted, and you know, adding Ethan Van Sciver, so he had to see it. And he hasn't taken any hits for that from the industry, from DC, from Vertigo, you know, from anyone.
No public statement. No, vaguely worded criticisms about how people should be, more polite online. Yeah, because he's in the in group.
Yeah, but I I haven't seen anyone do anything that bad on either side, honestly. That's got to be the worst so far. And he hasn't had any repercussions for that.
Yeah.
So they hold them to almost no standard. It's really strange.
It's rough. Oh, I wanted to mention. So, Otis Frampton is wonderful. So we've been talking about some negative examples. He saw that someone was unhappy with Image Comics, so he tweets at her that he's sorry to hear that, and he will send her copies of his comic book to convince her to remain a customer of his comic, Oddly Normal. And that was like the most hopeful thing I had seen in ages. Uh, Aaron Sparrow, the writer for the Darkwing Duck comics, he jokes that he has a customer service agenda. So there are individuals who it's sort of like they make up for 50 bad things just by going above and beyond the call of duty to show appreciation to their customers. So I just want to throw the opposite of shade. I want to throw mad respect at Otis Frampton and Aaron Sparrow.
Yeah, there's definitely good ones out there. In fact, Nerdette, is there a Comics Pro that you've had good interactions with you'd like to mention?
Oh yeah. Brian Edward Hill. He's one of those that kind of ignores, the crap, but he's really good about responding. He's responded to me quite a few times, and I don't know, he's a good writer. He did a good job with Detective Comics, and he's also a good person. I really enjoy him.
Yeah, that's really a great example. I would have probably brought him up if you hadn't. That's cool. He is really, he does seem to stay above the fray, so to speak, and just focus on his work. So, and
Yeah,
yeah, he's good with the
absolutely.
fans, interacts with us, and doesn't put people
Writes
down. He
back,
doesn't block people.
yep, absolutely. He's one of my favorites.
That's cool. Bob, how about you? And it doesn't have to be like, DC or Marvel, just anyone really that's a comics creator.
Positive?
Yeah.
Well, of course, Marmaduke grabbed up Otis right off the bat, like he said he would. But y'all have mentioned a lot of good ones, but may I say that a lot of the guys on the indie side, let's just be honest, like Cody Fernandez, Sean Campbell, those are two really great guys. Brian Ball, another really good guy. I mean, there's a lot of people within the indie market and that's why the indies are doing so well, is because of the fact that they do give that good customer service. Where if you go to the major, like DC, Marvel, then Image, because of the whole Nasser situation with Layman and whatnot, you won't have that. You don't have the trouble. You just get thank you for buying my comic. Peter Samedi, another good example. You get thank you for buying my comic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Peter Samedi is one of the best. Really, the whole Alterna company, from what I can see, is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
But oh man, you brought up the thing with Nasser. What was his name again? John DeLay?
John Layman.
John Layman. Oh yeah, sorry, I get my people mixed up. But yeah, John Layman. That's another thing where they were holding someone to a different standard. Can
Well,
you
that
imagine if he, like, if Ethan Van Sciver or someone had said that to someone on their
Yeah.
side, they'd still literally be talking about it a year later, because we know they did that with DNC. And what this guy said is similar to that, but much worse. And really, honestly, it wouldn't be hard to construe that into like a race-based attack too.
Yeah. Like he might have
Yeah.
been trying to sneak it. It's what the left would call a dog whistle. If anyone, not even on the right, anyone center left or to the right of that comment, they would immediately make the connection to a racial slur and say that even if you didn't intend it, that doesn't what you say doesn't matter. If we can see the racial connection, that must be what it is.
Yeah. And I kind of think it was intended that way. And even if it wasn't, aside from that, just what he said in and of itself was so crude and uncalled for. Like, what the heck? You know? And what has Nasser ever done to anyone? He's just, some kind of mellow guy from what I've seen on live streams, and puts out his books like crazy.
Well, that's the thing, though. But you also got to remember you're talking about the hypocrisy of in the, I guess you could say, modern comic industry. As long as you're once again a part of the club, you get to say and do whatever you want, no matter how contradictory it is. But at the same time, Lord forbid that anyone called you on it, because then that's when there's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, how many times have we seen them change the goalposts and change the rules on a whim because we were actually meeting the rules that they put out better than they were? Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. We're dealing with people who basically we're playing against people who have no rules. And so we just got to get used to constantly having to, I guess you could say, we can't let them rest. Like the indie guys, we got to remind them, hey, you're getting a little too big, you're getting a little too snarky. Bring it back. We don't want to, we're trying to prove that we're better than them. Luckily, we haven't had that yet.
Yeah. I don't know. It sucks though if it's an us versus them thing too, right? Like you were talking about that, right? Like tribalism and all that.
Yes, it's entirely tribalism. And it's
Yeah.
ridiculous, pointless tribalism, but it's tribalism nonetheless, and it's going to happen regardless. So it's just remember that one side's rules always change, unfortunately. So try to stay consistent on our side.
It's tough. I mean, I'm not bailing on DC entirely. It's just individual, writers and stuff that are an issue.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying, my opinion.
Yeah.
Who are you sticking with from DC that you're like staying tried and true to DC fans?
Well, lately it's been a little bit tricky because I've just been reading back issues. I haven't had a lot of money to invest in new stuff. But like Tristan was saying, Brian Edward Hill's stuff, I like him. I think he's got his Outsiders book. I wanted to pick
I think that comes out in December.
Yeah, and old Unranked Chevron, wherever he is, he just did a review for Justice League Dark for issue 3, and he really liked it. So I'm kind of thinking I might, buy in on that. The regular Justice League wasn't bad, although I only have the first issue on that one. I'm definitely staying away from any of the Brian Michael Bendis stuff, though, which is kind of a drag because I'm a big Superman fan. Super Sons Adventures. That's really good. I would definitely recommend that series. Red Hood and the Outlaws is great. Definitely buy that. And, a lot of the people that work on that are good people too. The inker, Ryan Wynn, is really nice. He sent me a copy of one of those to give away when my channel reached 1,000 people. So there's definitely good stuff being put out by DC, but it's getting, hidden behind Yeah, they've got this Zoe Quinn type people out front, and it's not helping. But unlike Hawkman, that's a good series.
Nightwing's been really good.
Yeah, you and Yellow Flash had like opposite of
I
reviews.
exactly opposite.
Yeah, you liked it and he didn't. I might have to read
Detective
it.
Comics has been good though too, even after Brian.
Oh yeah, who is it that took over? Tinian or someone else?
I don't know. I honestly don't.
Seems like they've got James Tinian writing everything lately. He's on a lot of books. Well, it's tough too because I know people are upset with Tom King. I know people are upset with Jeff Lemire. It's like if I'm gonna get mad at everyone, I'm gonna have to trim my reading list down to nothing.
Yeah.
Like Terrifics, I like the Terrifics still, but I just haven't bought any new comics for a little while. I think I would definitely come back to most of the New Age of Heroes books that are still going. So that's just me.
All right. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but there's definitely a lot of good indie books too.
Well, all I got to say about Bendis is we all know who Brian Michael Bendis is. He's a secret reticuloid spy. Him and his Zabolski bot out to destroy Marvel and DC.
Oh yeah, I think that's actually true though.
I know it's true.
I'm pretty
Because
sure.
Bob Jones said it. I do my research. Now, America, you need to go out and back some good soy-free Indiegogo's. Head over there now. Back Sporkman and T-Bird and Throttle.
Yeah.
Oh, and Black Emerald while you're at it. By John Dillard. That's on Indiegogo too.
Sparkman's definitely great.
Sorry, I had to do the obligatory pitch for IGGs in character.
Oh, absolutely. Now, did you guys look at that Asgard book?
I've seen the ads for it.
Yeah. The artist was on Edwin's stream a couple times.
Ben Jones, I believe.
Yeah. Uh-huh. His art looks really good, but I don't know about the book itself. If you guys have looked at it, what you think?
I meant to have him on while his Indiegogo was going. I'm not sure if it still is. But
Is it done?
I'm not sure. Let me check. I will look and I will tell you.
There's so many books to keep track of.
Right.
Need like a news bulletin on them or something.
Well,
yeah.
I'm on the script before I send it off to Avid for him to edit, and then I'm gonna send it to Ninja for the storyboarding.
Nice.
I'm really happy about that. It's Asgard, right?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
So did you guys check out the Aquaman trailer?
Oh my god.
I did, yeah.
Looks so good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Well, I know you
12 days left, fully funded, actually at 181%.
Oh, wow. Well, he got it then.
Yep. But continue.
Oh, yeah, the Aquaman trailer looked pretty epic. I'm wondering if they gave away too much because it's over 5 minutes long.
I don't think they gave away too much. I think that they gave away like a perfect amount. They showed that it was polished.
Yeah.
They showed the city. They showed a little bit of everything, but didn't give away enough for people not to want to see it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And like they even showed him wearing the costume, so all the purists who are like, that costume he had in Justice League was shite, la da da da, they're even happy now because they're like, it's getting a proper costume. I'm not an Aquaman fan, and even I was like, ha ha, yes.
Yeah, honestly, I was really surprised by that.
You were?
That he wore his old school outfit? Yeah.
I wasn't. Not even a little bit. I expected it.
Huh. Well, I guess they did have the old school outfits for Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, but I guess I've kind of gotten used to like not comic accurate outfits ever since X-Men made it all black leather.
Oh God, I hated that.
Yeah, I mean, even Superman doesn't look like he does in the comics.
No, I want my
Yeah,
red
but
shorts.
it's similar enough. I mean, I don't know. I expected to see that. I really did. That color
Oh,
scheme, but it was brought
Well,
down a little bit. It looked really, really good.
yeah.
they did that because, like, I think the new 52 costume was just. I don't think anybody really liked it, but at the same time, at least it made it where people could finally stop making the joke about Superman not knowing how to put the underwear on the inside. I'm just
And then
saying.
they've gone back to it.
I mean, I like it personally. It's a part of his look at this point. And it was meant to be very strongmanish, very like
Mhm.
1930s strongman. So it makes sense why he looks that way. So it doesn't bother me. But for some reason, everyone else, I'm just saying, they
Yeah.
don't understand the concept.
Well, it seems like the majority of fans must have preferred it that way because it's what they've come back to.
Very true. I was just happy that when they finally did get out of the new 52, that they decided to go with pretty much the Silver Age Superman, if you will. Like, remember, right? That's who he's actually supposed to be. He's not the one we had in the 80s and whatnot. He's actually the Silver Age, correct?
The Rebirth Superman?
Yes.
I don't know. He doesn't seem as powerful as the Silver Age one, does he? Wasn't that like the most OP one?
Oh, well, yeah, but a lot of those powers can be easily like explained as non-canon. He doesn't. He different reality, different rules, so he doesn't have all those powers.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, it's so hard to keep track of anything too because they keep changing things and retconning things. Part of my issue with Bendis's run is he is changing a lot of the Superman lore, which has actually managed to stay intact this whole time. Like how Krypton was destroyed, for instance.
And go figure, the first article I open up is an article about Brian Michael Bendis. You motherfucker.
I don't know what.
Oh,
It's like, does he have some dirt on DC? Like, why does he get to have everything he wants? I saw he was getting his own imprint.
it's. I'm guessing it's he knows where the bodies are buried.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's got to be like, is he holding someone hostage? Like, you're writing Superman, you get to write Young Justice, you get to write like anything you want, you get your own imprint. They've been advertising like Bendis is coming, Bendis is coming. It's like, really? You guys don't even, yeah, don't even advertise their own books or events or anything as much as they advertise Bendis. I swear I saw more ads for Bendis than I did for Metal.
Oh, I know. Believe me, the fact that Bendis is viewed like, okay, Bendis can be a good writer. Wade can be a good writer. That's part of the reason
Yeah.
why everyone's so pissed off at him for going full, social justice cuck. Because of the fact that instead of worrying about what we actually cared about, which was the fact that they could write really good, interesting stories, they got lazy and decided to write propaganda. And that's
Yeah,
the problem.
just
Let's just be
lazy too.
honest. Yeah, I hate it. And I think that goes for everyone in here. It's like the biggest problem when you go from being, and I think part of it is ego got too big. They could, ego got big. They could do no wrong. I know it's better than they do. I always
Mhm.
so.
You certainly get that impression from some of the more hostile comics pros that they're, you know, a step above everyone else.
Yep, like even Lord Nurgle, Bendis and Wade can be good when they are held on a tight leash.
Yeah. Well,
And
you
then
know,
Midnight
one of
TV.
my favorite stories still to this day is Kingdom Come. Mark
Oh yeah.
Waid can be a good writer. He can be one of the best writers. It's just, I don't know. They call him King Baby for a reason, right?
Well, he'll have to be a good writer again if he wants to pay for this lawsuit.
Right.
Yeah, no
Just
kidding.
you see all that I Stand with Mark Wade stuff that was going.
Oh yeah.
So
That was pretty fun.
let's be honest. We stand with being broke with him, already broke, and we know he's going to lose the lawsuit.
I mean, there's a lot of
I thought that'd
evidence
be
there.
funnier. I thought that'd be funnier.
So, Nerdette, I've never met you before. Could you tell us a little bit about like what you do with like art, and do you have a podcast?
I do neither. I don't do art and I don't do a podcast. I do have
Oh,
my channel.
Well,
so
your channel,
you have a channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
YouTuber.
I actually have two channels. I have one that's more kid oriented, and then I have my Nerdets Newsstand, which does reviews, but I started that last week maybe. So I'm pretty new to that. Well, no, I started it the week Heroes in Crisis came out, so it would have been the week before.
Yeah, and you've done a few DC reviews in that time.
Yeah, I've done Heroes in Crisis, Nightwing, and I did another one. I know I did. I can't remember what it was.
Was it Justice League or something? I'm trying
Uh-uh.
to remember.
No, because I got to get caught up on Justice League. I
Oh
can
yeah,
look it
that's
up.
right. We were talking about that. But yeah, your older channel too is pretty huge. You've got thousands of subscribers over there.
Nice.
Yeah,
More of a gaming.
oh yeah, it just the Odyssey. I
Yeah,
forgot all
Justice League
about that.
Odyssey.
Yeah, that one
Well,
was
there's
really good too.
like 3 Justice Leagues going right now,
I
or
know.
more.
Yeah, but yeah, I've mainly been covering DC at this point because that's mainly what I read, but um I like to branch out. At some point I will.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I wish I hadn't boxed myself in with just DC, but you
But
know,
even at that, there's so much to read, even just in DC. Even if you just stayed in that company, you would still couldn't get caught up. So, I mean, I've read quite a bit of Alterna, some XL Manowar,
nice.
some Ninjak, but yeah, that's mainly what I look into.
That's cool. Yeah,
Oh,
Alterna
good.
and Valiant are both great.
Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
niche. All right. But if you have a niche, then you really speak to those people. And for like hardcore DC fans, it's good to have like a dedicated place to go for something like that.
Well, yeah, they kind of do at this channel, but I mean, that's why I'm not going to just stay in that niche. But yeah, I get exactly what you mean.
What do you do for your kids channel? What kind of kids content do you do?
It's more gaming. It's like animation reactions and stuff like that. Five Nights at Freddy's, Bendy and the Ink Machine. I can't think of some of the other ones. Doki Doki Literature Club,
Oh
things
wow.
along those lines. More horror gaming stuff,
Yeah.
and it's usually, like 12 to 15-year-old kids.
Yeah. Interesting. I remember seeing the first Five Nights at Freddy's come out and thinking that this is going to get big, and then I did like a drawing of it, and then that like paid for my rent for a few months. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you don't get me wrong, I like my channel, but if you can dedicate something to that age group, even like Undertale, which is still young, but it's a little bit older,
yeah,
you can really get and gain an audience quickly.
yeah,
Oh, it's like PewDiePie, right? His audience is pretty young, and he's the
An
biggest
army
one.
of 9-year-olds. Yep.
I thought they
Yeah.
grew up a bit though, because I mean he got big when I was in college, and I remember when he made like yelling about barrels a thing. So he probably still gets. I mean, with his numbers, I'm sure he's got like all ages following him.
Yeah, but he's kind of went away from the gaming at this point too.
Yeah, it's more like humor now.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
really?
Yeah, it's like reactionary stuff.
I know YouTube's a weird game. Like, there's all kinds of tricks to the algorithms that I've just never really gotten a handle on.
Yeah.
And that's simply because you're a comic book channel. I mean, you have to have YouTube is a kid's game, honestly. It's 15 and under are constantly on YouTube, so that's what you have to relate to if you want to grow quickly, in my opinion.
Yeah. Huh. Makes sense.
Yeah, so when we opened up Nerd That's Anonymous, we went, I mean, it's not even a year old and we're almost to 4,000 subscribers, so it's done well.
Wow. Yeah, really. That's really good growth. It's tricky
Yep.
too because you don't necessarily have to focus on what's trending or anything.
Well, kind of you do. I mean, you got to
Oh, do
keep,
you?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, you can't stick with a game or a subject matter that isn't popular anymore, or you're not going to keep with that growth. And that's why I started my comic book channel, just because it was something I personally enjoy. You know, at some point you get sick of doing the same thing over and over, and trying to relate to an audience that you're well above their age group.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's good to have two channels then. You can kind of focus on different things.
Yeah, that's exactly why I did it too.
But like, yeah, with the comics book stuff, you kind of know what will get you growth. Like, I should have probably done a review of the Aquaman trailer, because that's what's trending. You just kind of follow what's trending and popular. Like, oh, Henry Cavill's going to quit being, working for WB and stuff. And it's just like, I don't know.
Or you
You
could
have to
cover
give.
Titans. That one's been trending a little bit lately too.
Yeah, it's true. See, that's the other thing. I mostly focus on the physical comics. There's a bigger segment of comics fandom that just watches the TV shows and the movies. So I do kind of forget that sometimes. So I
Well,
could
so when you
broaden.
do those kind of videos, do you get a lot more views than like your comic reviews?
Yeah, generally, I like trailer
I
reviews.
wondered.
Always get more. I did one on Henry Cavill not quitting WB, and that got a lot more. So it just depends. Generally, if it's a really new issue, it will do all right. Like if it came out that week, but generally, comics reviews don't get a huge amount of views unless you're like DNC or something.
That makes sense.
I'm still not too happy about the fact
The
What?
what?
I heard he was leaving.
Who?
Henry
Who? We
Cavill.
couldn't hear you.
Oh, don't tell me my mic got quiet again. Henry Cavill is. I heard he.
Oh, okay. Well, what's really happened is a whole lot of nothing. Everyone's saying he's leaving, but the thing is, Warner Brothers doesn't have any Superman movies or cameos or anything slated. So whether he's left or not is kind of irrelevant because there aren't any roles for him to play. So from what his manager has said, he's still willing to play Superman, but Warner Brothers isn't asking him to. So it's kind of like, up in the air, really. I mean, eventually he'll probably have to leave if they don't give him work, but he's willing to do it.
Gotcha.
Did you see that video? Oh, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, did you see that video he put out the day all that went down with him? Yes.
Like
he was like
didn't shed light on anything.
No, exactly, but it was just funny. He was trolling everybody that day.
Oh yeah. Well, and that was part of it too. It seemed like he was trolling to begin with, even at the onset of the rumor coming out. But I think Warner Brothers overall, they're just holding off. They don't want to slate any more movies until they see how Aquaman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman 84 do. If they make a lot of money, then we'll be seeing a lot more DC movies. If they don't, then I bet you we won't.
Well, didn't they just announce Birds of Prey?
Yeah, I mean, they've got a whole bunch of movies that they've announced, like
and the Joker
movie. And I mean, way back when BVS came out, they said they were going to do a Cyborg movie in 2020. There's supposed to be a Flash movie. There's a bunch of movies, and it's just, how far along those actually are.
Well, like I stated before, I'm going to combine what I think is going to happen with your whole, they're trying to see how this will go. I think what they're trying to do is see how this goes, and if it doesn't go the way they want it to, fix it all with a Flashpoint movie.
I mean, they could.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what they do in the comics every couple of years. Let's reboot, have a crisis.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It works for the comics. Why not do it for the movies?
Gosh. I mean, it's hard enough to follow in comics. Can you imagine like investing millions of dollars into a movie universe where you just keep resetting it?
But it would totally be DC.
Yeah.
Right. They love resetting the universe.
It's like, oh, we've built up this much lore in this world. Time to reset.
I mean,
Like, oh, you're starting to like these characters.
I mean, Flashpoint makes sense, though. If they were going to pick, like, some sort of thing to reset it, Flashpoint would be the one to do it.
Yeah.
Because they have Wonder Woman and they have Aquaman and Mera, who are, like, the primary characters you need for that. And they have Cyborg. I guess you'd have to get someone to play Batman. But most of the people you need are there. They could even tweak it a bit and use the Shazam they have now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It has potential. I think we should get Bob on the WB committee and get some better content out in the theater.
I will make sure to give the comic community good soy-free comic book movies.
100% American made.
Exactly. We do not need the soy. We do not need the reticuloid.
There's a war on your wallet, America.
Exactly. And the sad thing is, those movies are all about the soy. All about the soy.
Oh boy, there's a bunch of stuff in the chat I got to catch up on. There's like a paragraph here. People adding me and stuff. Oh man.
I don't know how you can do that. I stay out of the chat. I cannot do both at once.
I'll see what's going on here.
Do it.
Younger audiences interested in live chatting, Nerdette, or are they more just into like to watching videos? Do you have any thoughts?
You know, honestly, I don't know because I don't do anything live. I have to re-record and stuff all the time, so I just keep it. I've never done a live stream besides like with DC or something.
Yeah.
BRB.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I can't say that I would ever have the guts to actually do a live stream myself.
You got to have like real, I don't know, like thespian chops. I think like just the cool to. It's like being on stage, really. I did a little theater in high school, and it's a similar like nervousness. Like, what if I say something stupid and I can't erase it?
Exactly. That's why I re-record. Like I did my Nightwing review for my newsstand one, and it ended up being a 7-minute video, and it probably took me 25 minutes to record because I'm sitting there re-recording, and I'll laugh and I'll be like, oh, I gotta take that out. So yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, I think once you have a computer, it'll be easier because you can just edit out little things like that.
Yeah, that's true. But I just sit there and I'm like, and I'll record like 30 seconds of audio at a time, and just in case I mess up, and then I'll be like, okay, that was good. Now I'm going to do the next part. And even with something like this, I have a hard time, but that's probably why I'm a little bit more quiet. But yeah, I tend to keep my mouth shut or re-record 1,000 times.
Oh, man. I don't know. I always just do things in one take. I mean, people are just going to watch it and like it or not like it, no matter what. I mean, if it's really bad, I could see doing that, but
I do like mini takes. So I'll get like the first chunk of it and then cut out a few like ums and ahs and like misstatements, and then I'll just like keep pushing through like chunk by chunk till I get at the end. So it's sort of like I don't do it all in one take. I subdivide it to try to get it done faster.
I do that with like big projects, like my supervillain biography videos that I used to do, and we'll maybe eventually do again. That I would definitely do.
Good.
Now,
they're good, but they're a lot of work. But I would usually record it in chunks, like you're saying.
Yeah, I have to.
That's the kind of thing where it'll actually cross over into like the TV audience, because they want to watch the TV show and they want like a Wikipedia article on who the character is, and that's where that's what comic story, and I think that's where most of his audience comes from. So if you can do like really good like article sum up kind of stuff, that's got long shelf life. It's longer shelf life than what's the hip comic book this week, you know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very true.
Well, my videos that have gotten the most views are those. They all do well. By far, my most viewed video is that Owlman super villain biography.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but for some reason it struck a nerve or something. It's got over 25,000 views, which for me is really good.
Yeah, and that's so weird that that's exactly how I found your channel too. I don't even know why. It came up in like my feed and I wasn't looking for it, and I was like, okay, well, what's this?
It's so weird how things will, the way algorithms work and stuff.
Well, it must have got some sort of trending if it's your best, viewed video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been able to figure that out. And the second best is the Ultraman video. So some people out there must really like the Crime Syndicate. But yeah, I ought to get back into those. It's just they're a lot of work because you got to do the research and editing and everything. Might be worth it though.
Well, yeah, those views would be worth it.
Yeah. They're interesting to do too.
I've had the most views when I just kind of like, because I don't like doing things I'm not interested in just to try to catch on trending. I really want to be passionate about a project. So I got lucky when I commented on Thundercats Roar, and everyone was talking about the Thundercats Roar trailer, and I was just interested in it from an artistic perspective. So I guess maybe like sometimes you can kind of be canny and say, "Oh, okay, this is going wild." So if I'm going to talk about it, now's the time to talk about it. But I kind of have a hard time making I think I'm hyperactive. I have a hard time making myself sit down and learn something what something is just because it's trending that week, you know?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what I meant about my channel. That's exactly why I started the second one, so it could be more of a passion project.
Yeah.
I saw that when your Thundercats video took off, though. You got many thousands of views, huh?
I think it ended up being 20,000 eventually. Yeah. And I got 4,000 or so on a My Hero Academia one because I mean, that's still, there's still new seasons of that coming out. So it's like cyclical. Every so often, like a new season of My Hero Academia will come out, and then I'll get a few more comments on that review.
Yeah. I saw that when your video took off, though. You gained a lot of subscribers from that, too, I think.
Yeah. It was neato. That's the thing is if you do have a passion, then keep talking about your passion, and eventually you'll tap into something that I think some people will resonate with, and that's hip and with it today. I'd encourage any artist who's working on a project to at least do some YouTube. Maybe like don't let it take over your art practice, but at least like comment on comics or cartoons you watch, because I think people are really interested to hear what other artists have to say, or even not just artists, but even people who are enthusiasts for animation and video games and maybe comics to a less degree. But I do think there's overlap.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the community, really, is artists and writers and YouTubers and various creators. We've all kind of found each other with social media. So this guy, Dave, is saying he found my Owlman and Ultraman videos when he was watching clips from the movie. So it's probably the Crisis on Two Earths movie. I had some clips from that. So maybe that helped draw people to it.
Yeah.
That was interesting, too, because Warner Brothers did do a copyright claim on that, but it was just they were going to split the ad revenue. So that was fine. They didn't restrict it, but now I'm not even monetized. So it's like, don't even get the
money for you, Warner Brothers.
Yep, more money for Warner Brothers.
Oh, so they get money anyway, even though you're not monetized. Is that right?
They must. People have seen ads on my channel.
Those suckers.
Yeah, even on videos that don't have any kind of copyright claim.
The capitalists. We must, YouTubers of the world, unite. You have nothing to lose but your likes.
Shackles. You have nothing to lose but your chains,
Yeah.
comrades.
Oh gosh, now I'm thinking about a bunch of YouTubers tearing down all the architecture.
Yeah, I know. Well, and they won't let any real rival website rise to prominence since Google controls all the search algorithms and
Yeah.
everything. So, you know, when VidMe or whatever tries, then they just fail after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
It's really kind of a drag too because YouTube's getting all of its content literally for free. It's not like a TV station or whatever where a TV channel network where they had to produce the shows
Yep.
and then ran advertising on the shows that they made. It's like we
Yeah.
make the shows, and then if they feel like it, they throw us a bone from what they make off.
It's
of
a raw
ads.
deal. It's why
Yeah.
it's why you have to be passionate. You have to care about the subject so much that you would do it for free and hope to get some finances just as a bonus along the road at some point. But I would not encourage anyone to do YouTube if just expecting to get rich. Do it because you care about something a lot.
Because
Yes.
even when you get monetized, you really don't make that much money. I mean, unless you're getting thousands and thousands of views per video, you're not going to really, it's not like you could live off of it.
Yeah.
You got to have like 100,000 subscribers probably to make a living, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and yeah, it's just not as good as it used to be. I mean, even starting when I did over a year and a half ago, as bad as the time of it was to start then, starting now would be worse. Like with YouTube, the longer ago you started, the better off you'd be, I think.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that started in like 2010 or even up to like 2015, they got in when it was good. You make a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
Even when I first started my Nerd and Nerdettes channel, which would have been like, I started it last summer and then didn't really do much with it for a while, but you only had to have like 10,000 views. And then everything's changed completely. Like you can you can hit that very easily, but then you got to have 1,000 subscribers and I think 4,000 watch
4,000
hours
in the past year. So it's not even total. It's in the past
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
So if you don't keep up with making content for free, then you can fall off too.
Yeah. So you definitely have to be extremely passionate.
Yeah. That's why things like Patreon exist, but it's a whole other level of dedication where, you know, from your subscribers and whatnot, that it should all just be integrated. But oh well. I'm kind of hoping someone will, you know, a rival will YouTube will pop up at some point.
BitChute's my favorite so far, but I've noticed they have a problem with like their comments, and they have a problem with videos uploading but then not processing. But their shtick is that they're like, you know, free speech. Like Alex Jones is on there, so a lot of like, you know, like your wild conspiracy theorist types, they go over there. But they also have like a shtick of, I don't know, like being connected to Bitcoin somehow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I use Minds.com and it's got some kind of cryptocurrency you earn, but I've never even tried to cash it in.
Oh, it's cheap. It's mostly good for just getting like points or something.
I mean, you can use that to get more views and stuff, but it's not like real money. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Minds is okay. It's kind of like alternate Facebook, I think.
Right. I think it's a little bit cleaner than Twitter. Like Twitter is just confusing in its layout and doesn't have an edit button. So I think mine's tried to like blend aspects of Twitter and Facebook together. They just don't have critical mass yet. So I'm on most of these places just to put my content out more places, and I'm just waiting for one of them to take off and become like a legitimate, like mainstream normie alternative.
Yeah. I'm thinking Minds might get that way because like you said, it is got a lot of the same features as Twitter and Facebook. And I've noticed it's getting a lot bigger. Like, I I don't know. I picked up 20 subscribers since I checked it last, and
Yeah.
went from 160 to 180. So I don't know. It seems like something's going on there.
Yeah, I do think the Alex Jones moving their thing brought Bob Jones would know about this, but I think it did bring a lot of people over who were just like sick of YouTube and the pretty. I'm not a Alex Jones fan, but don't have every big company ban the conspiracy theorist all at once. It's that's not a good idea.
Kind of feeds this narrative, right?
I came back at a really interesting time.
Yeah, we're talking about you.
Like I'm still. I was about to come back and let y'all know. Going to be a couple more minutes getting my food. I already ate half of it.
Fair enough.
So, but then I'm hearing about Alex Jones and whatnot. It's like my cousin, the soldier against the soy, a man who tries to tell everyone about the globalists, even though everybody knows about the globalists. It's the reticuloids that they don't know about.
It's true.
So are reticuloids, are they related to lizards at all? Lizard people?
Well, that's the thing. You can't quite describe what a reticuloid looks like. It's just kind of formless and there. Full of soy, though, at the same time.
That's how you know. Is the soy.
Exactly. The smell of soy in the air.
See, I always pictured a lizard person, too.
Well, it may be. We're not quite sure. It's a shapeshifter. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, that explains it.
I'm just saying. But know this. If a reticuloid is near, the smell of soy is in the air, and the sound of screeching as well.
Sounds good. It's kind of like a banshee, but like a soy banshee.
Exactly. Kind of like that. Well, what was his name? Justin Hunt or whatever. Trying to kick a phone, kicks a lady in the face. Man, you're a real good ally. You're a real good male feminist. About what one would expect. About what one would expect.
I saw someone posting about that.
I think it was Geeks and Gamers.
It was great. He all like jumped half his body to the side, his tongue sticking out. It's like, oh, okay, sure. Why not? But
Geeks and Gamers. Was that
right.
Jeremy? Jeremy,
yes.
that guy? Oh yeah.
Be right back. So
I used to watch a lot of his content. I kind of haven't lately. I don't know. Kind of the whole Star Wars thing. Just kind of tired of it. I don't know if that's still his focus.
I haven't watched it. I mean, I just seen it pop up on my feed. I didn't even watch it.
Oh, I just meant their channel in general, Geeks and Gamers.
Yeah. Yep.
There was a while there where I'd watch him most days, but I haven't kept up with it. Old Bob Jones. He came back and like it disrupted my train of thought. I'm not even sure what we were talking about.
You were talking about that alternate. I don't even know.
On BitChute.
Yeah, Alex Jones on Minds or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think those sites are getting a little more, whatever, traffic.
Right. Now, I think a lot of like normal YouTubers are going over there as well. But I think for now, it's kind of like the free speech slash, and everything right of the free speech movement is over there, which means you can get some neat people, but, you're probably also going to get some like lizard people comments. But I mean, I do anti-SJW stuff sometimes. So my content's a pretty good fit for that.
That's cool. Yeah, I've noticed mine's is getting more people, but it is really like Facebook or something where you can link your videos from YouTube to it, but you can't like host your videos there. So if I post,
you can host dinky videos. You can host like a 15-minute or shorter video, which is what like the old YouTube limit used to be. And Gab isn't that good. You have to squash it down to like 200 megabytes. and it's like you cross your fingers, and half the time the upload works and half the time it doesn't. So no one's really a fully functional competitor to YouTube yet, except Pornhub, and I'm not willing to go over there even just to upload stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, how just like regular videos are being uploaded since it's just a video streaming service you can upload to. So,
Yeah.
like TV shows and stuff, they're going to get in trouble for copyright issues here pretty soon, I think.
Of course they are, yeah.
So, like, go to Pornhub to watch Infinity War. Like, oh, okay.
Are you serious? I had no idea that they could do that.
Oh,
I know
yeah,
like a lot of the gun channels from YouTube went over there, but I didn't know that.
I think so, yeah.
That's too funny.
Oh, yeah. Midnight Cherry said he watched Game of Thrones on there.
Seriously? That's so weird to me.
Yeah.
Well, Daily Motion used to be that. It was the YouTube that was less strict about copyright, so you could go watch anime on Daily Motion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's another way they shut down a lot of these small services too, is someone posts copyrighted stuff and then they're just like, oh, we'll sue you because we're Google. But yeah, I haven't tried BitChute. Is it fairly easy to use?
Yeah, I think it's fairly easy to use. The only bad thing I have to say about it is sometimes my uploads, it says it completes and then I'll come back later and it's like dead. So you'll just like click it and it'll be 0 seconds long. So that's the only bad thing I have to say about it. There's actually really passionate people. You can get some subs, you can get some views. I mean, I'm a smaller channel, so if I get like 100 videos, 100 views on YouTube, I'll get like 30 views on BitChute, which isn't bad. That's like about a third of my audience I can speak to over there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Seems worth looking into then.
I think they're hungry for good content, so yeah, go for it.
Wouldn't hurt. You ever look at Steam It?
No, I've never heard of it.
Oh, that was a while ago. I don't know if it's still around, but yeah, there was like there's another video hosting service called Steam It.
Huh. Connected with the Steam video game people?
No.
Okay.
No, I thought that at first too, but was totally unrelated. So you guys reading anything good lately?
I've just been reading library comics to save on money until until the checks start coming in. So lots of I think I'm gonna get like all of the cringy squirrel girls that they always have at the library and catch up on that, because I would never pay money for a bad comic just to make fun of it, but I'll read a bad comic for free to make fun of it,
Yeah. The library is a really good resource. I've read a number of trades from there. I even made a video some time ago about, using the library resources to get comics and interlibrary loan and all that. You can pretty much read most of the main trades if you really want to go about it that way.
Yeah. Since they get popular stuff, that means that you can do a lot of, reading of some really top tier stuff, mixed in with some, I don't know, like little kiddie stuff, but
yeah,
100% use that resource.
Yeah. I've pretty much read everything they have, but Blackest Night and all that, they have a lot of good stuff, and it's a small town library too. So I imagine bigger towns and cities would have quite a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
Pretty much always trades. I mean, I don't think they get single issues on that stuff, right?
Well, mine has like some old beat up single issues. I think some smart customer always goes there and like gets all the digital codes and roughs them up a bit. But they'll sometimes have like a pack of really beat up ones that they just have as like hey kids, sit in the library and read books. That get to try to like get people to come in.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, if your library doesn't have that and you're looking to donate your old comics somewhere, they might take them. ask the librarian first, I guess, before you just leave them there. But I think they're always looking for stuff because they're really interested in getting kids to hang out at the library. You know, it's sort of like a chic thing they want kids to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably not something most kids think of these days, going to a library. You still with us, Tristan?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
That's cool. Just making sure.
Yep.
Well, I know you've been reading some stuff from the library, right?
I've been reading Kingdom Come, but I haven't gotten it done yet. I tend to get really distracted by like the new stuff. I'll read something old and then something new will come out and I'll be like, "Oh, I should read this instead." You know, I could make a video on this or so I need to get through it and it's one of those that everyone says is so good and I've yet to finish it. I'm probably about halfway through though.
That's cool. But yeah, I mean, that's just an example of like what they have at the library.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think they had like that. They have Blackest Night. I mean, they just have a bunch.
pretty much the main trades that, people talk about, they generally have them. So it's a lot easier than spending $20, $30 at a LCS, which you should still do if you want to, definitely support the LCS. But if you don't have the money for it, as I often
Or
don't,
don't have one.
or don't have one, right? Like
Yeah. I have to
much
buy
of,
everything digitally except for I did get Batman Damned, but other than that, everything I've bought in the last 2, 3 months have been digital because just show up at the comic book store one day and it's closed for service. And
Is, Bat-
the closest one is an hour away. So
is Batman
yeah.
Damned worth getting, or is just the penis the most interesting thing about it?
Well, you
no,
can't get it
it's
now.
so well, yeah, you can't. It's not going to be reprinted, but it's such a small, minute part of of it. You don't if you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't notice. I mean, really, honestly, the crucifix at the end would seem to offend more than the flaccid penis. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe that was such a big deal when it really isn't. And I'm glad I got that and the variant. So I put those up.
Yeah, they're worth a ton now.
I
Uh,
know. I've been seeing them going on eBay for, I think I checked yesterday and it was like $299. I'm like, yes.
uh,
How how can $7 investment pay off so well? But it did.
It won't be reprinted. Makes a difference.
novelty, yeah.
And it really is a good read. Like I read it twice and I usually read everything twice, but it's really well done and the art is just spectacular. Like that's the best part about it. The writing's good. The narration lacks a little bit because it's narrated by Constantine, but um that I think it's Bermejo. I don't know how to say his last name. Bermejo. He's just absolutely amazing artist.
Bramo, right? Lee Bramo.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I mean, I could write it out for you, but that won't help. But yeah, it's absolutely worth the read.
Yeah, he did the art on Batman Noel too. It was really good.
Yeah, it was. He's one of those artists that, and I really enjoy like realistic art. I do like the cutesy art a lot too, but him and he keeps it very realistic and it's very dark and gritty and it's really well done. That whole comic was good. I know they pushed the second issue back. I think it's like December 3rd or something. The
Hmm,
one with Harley on the front but I'm definitely gonna make sure I get it the day of.
that's cool. Yeah, he did one of the covers for Action Comics 1000 as well. Looked really good.
Oh, I didn't know he did 1000.
Yeah, he did one of them, the 2000s variant, because they had a different artist for each decade of
Yeah.
Superman. He did the 2000s one.
Another artist that I've been really into is that John Boy Jones, I think is his name. He's been doing amazing.
Hmm.
You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
No, I don't think
No.
so.
Okay, never mind. Just skip that subject.
Well, you
What
can tell
is?
us about it. So maybe
Yeah,
like
what
tell us
was?
about it.
Yeah, what was he on?
Oh my God, I don't know. I seen him on hold on, let me look. He
Yeah.
does a lot with, let me bring up my Instagram. Give me a second.
You know, I never made an Instagram. Is that like worth doing?
I think it's worth doing if you're an artist or you send out a lot of booty pics.
John Boy Myers. What did I call him Jones for?
I don't know. Myers?
Yeah, Myers.
Hmm. What's his book?
Oh, that's why I was just looking him up. He did the variant for Nightwing, which I didn't even like as the regular, as much as the regular cover, just because that side profile was really cool with the scar. But yeah, that's exactly why I looked him up, because he was doing the variant. And then I looked him up on Instagram, and his art is just absolutely stunning.
Ah, cool.
He did the Batgirl Fan Expo sketch cover. I've got a bunch here that he's done, but and then he does some like gaming stuff too. He's absolutely, his work is really well done. League of Legends done stuff with that. So yeah, he's definitely one of the new ones I've been watching.
That's cool. Yeah, the money is more so in the gaming art than in comics for the artists. They can make a lot more money that way.
Oh
Especially
yeah.
something like League of Legends. And you know, it was the first game to make $1 billion.
Wow. Gosh.
Those good old microtransactions add up. And buying equipment and stuff. Before that, The Sims was the most profitable series.
The Sims.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of becoming passe, but then there, yeah, I mean, like Undertale's a success story too, where it's like, guy in his
Undertale's
basement.
good though.
What? Yeah, it is good. It is good, but it's like that kind of 8-bit aesthetic where that simplifies the programming a bit. I'm sure.
Well, and I think that had a lot in the way the story was written with the genocide run or the pacifist run, and that's honestly one of my favorite games. I love
Right.
Undertale.
It used the meta stuff well, I think.
Yes,
It's good enough that
absolutely.
it's good enough I'm going to revisit it on the Switch and like actually play it. And what's amazing to me is like YouTube is so full of people. Like the day that came out, boom, all the secrets for the Switch version. Wow, like they must get it the second it comes out and like race to get that within hours of the game
Well,
game.
not only that, but sometimes like I think it's Toby Fox or Toby Keith that does that game. Toby Fox.
Toby Fox.
He also has been known to some of the bigger YouTubers release it early.
Yeah.
So they've got it 3 days ahead of any normal person. They're gonna know, twice as much as we are. So they release their secrets the day of, and we're picking up our copy. I mean, it makes no sense, but yet it gets a lot of, brand recognition, and especially with the younger kids buying it.
Right.
But that was truly a good game.
Yeah,
like they do that with everything.
Like Five Nights at Freddy's.
I mean, you get reviewer copy of comics, even like if you sign up with one of these websites. Like I used to do reviews for Outright Geekery, and you'd get the comics before they would come out.
Sweet.
So yeah, well, I mean, it's really the only benefit because you're writing reviews for free. But they didn't get DC or Marvel ones, but they'd get, Dynamite, Image, Dark Horse, pretty much any other publisher. So I imagine the bigger YouTubers, like she was saying, definitely movies too. They get to see them ahead of time. Comics, they get them, it's all just ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then usually there's an embargo where you can't release the review until a certain date. And that's why everyone releases them all at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of cool getting reviewer copies. Sometimes they would like, whatever, for anti-piracy, they would stamp reviewer copy on it. But other than that, it's like, who cares? I mean, still the same thing. So I always liked that.
Yeah, that would be actually really cool.
Yeah, it just got to be too much work because I had to do a video a week and at the same time post it on their website. Like I had to do the effort of uploading it to their page and formatting it, and then actually like physically writing a review to go with it. And it's like, this is a lot of bother, you know?
Oh yeah.
But it was cool for a while. That's why some of my older videos are not non-DC books. Like generally they're Dynamite books I would review, like Green Hornet or Vampirella or something like that. So it was kind of fun.
Yeah, that would
I
be
might get
actually pretty
into,
cool.
yeah, it's worth doing if you have the time for it. It's just a real time sink.
Right.
I don't know how they do it. I mean, the publisher must give them the books early.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. But I mean, I don't know how they get the in with the publisher though, you know?
Well, I'm sure the publisher contacts them and, they contact you. It's probably just a process.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually a very troubling process that involves soy, reticuloid cultist promises,
Oh my God.
and secret handshakes. I'm just saying.
I believe it.
Maybe they sacrifice a few comic books on a pentagram.
Oh yeah.
You are
For
correct,
sure.
sir.
I think you're right about that one.
Well,
So you get
it's one of those. See, they got these like secret dungeons and whatnot. Instead of your standard Satanist setup, it's a comic book variant. So you have like all the Bendis books on one side, all the Cebulski books on the other. I'm just saying, it's weird, man. It's weird.
old CV thick boy.
Uh, you just kind of look about and it's like, it is the scariest thing ever. Like good comic books torn up in the corner.
Oh,
It's just like, oh my god, that was one of the best books ever. Yes, we sacrificed it to Bendis. Oh, I want to go. Oh. Like that
sad
level.
thing is, that's not even that far away from what's happening anyway.
I know, right?
I mean, really. Oh well. That's the thing though, there's like infinite back issues. That's another reason I'm not gonna like stop reading DC is there's more comics than I could ever read in my lifetime have already come out, so be all right. I think. You guys are so quiet tonight, you're making it tough to host. Just kidding. But why so quiet?
Okay, Nerdette. So you said you do animation reactions, right?
Yes.
Okay, but you don't animate the reactions. Is that right?
No, I usually it's people contact me that want me to, go through their thing and critique it. Or generally, some of the bigger YouTubers that I cover, I'll just do it anyway. Usually, I always have permission, but a lot of time I get contacted wanting a review done.
Huh. Because the gears are kind of turning in my head. I'm like tapping into that kid audience. So
Yeah, I mean and that's exactly what you could do. It's very, very easy. There's a lot of like source filmmaking or Blender, even DC2. There's different types of animations out there, so it just depends on what you want your subject matter. And
yeah,
there's infinite, animation styles and genres out there to
right.
use. And I just kind of chose horror gaming because it was, Five Nights at Freddy's got huge
Yeah.
overnight. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna tap into that money pot.
That's the way to do it.
And tap in, she did. Mm.
No reticuloid aid required.
That was a reticuloid-free channel.
That's right. I checked it myself. There wasn't a single reticuloid in sight. I was pleased. I hadn't seen anything like that since the days of the 80s and 90s. Before we started seeing the rise of the soy in the late 2000s.
So we did have a question from the chat. So Carl's Amateur Hour asks, what is the least professional Comics Pro tweet you guys have ever read?
Oh, good grief. Well,
Oh, that's
I think.
easy.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
is it? Yeah, you should go first then, because I have to think there's a lot.
I don't. What was that last 2 weeks ago with Layman about
Oh, okay.
uh all the white incels? They're all white males and uh jerking off to Squirrel Girl with their waifu pillows, and I was like, okay, that's for one. That's not all white males. I'm a female, and this is just absolutely ridiculous. He was in it. I was instantly blocked, but still.
That's a good one.
All I gotta say is, we are not going to assume your gender, Tristan. We know better. You don't want to be accused of
Don't you dare! I could very well be a male over here.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Don't start rumors.
We figured it out. I already know you got the all-seeing eyes.
That's right.
Goddamn Heimdall eyes, all gold and shit. Don't think I haven't figured you out. And you got? Are you Heimdall? Are you secretly? Guys, I think she's Heimdall.
You never know.
Absolutely.
Boy, there's so many horrible tweets to choose from. What do you think, Marmaduke?
I was just going to say the anus gate. That would be. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think anything could top that. I mean, that is the be all end all. Like, how does he even come back from that? Like, 20 years from now, people will
doesn't
be
he
like,
have a younger audience too from the Spider-Man?
Yeah, and his tweet wasn't age restricted. You know, it's pretty messed up. Because Twitter, I mean, like porn isn't against the rules, but it's supposed to be age restricted. Like, that was not cool. And I mean, adding someone like that and all that, like, it was basically sexual harassment, like straight up. At the very least, it was some kind of harassment. So,
yeah.
Did anything come of it?
Oh no, he's still working at Vertigo and everything else.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
No.
It's a class act right there.
I remember, like I said before, rules for us, but not for them. If we did something like that to them, if we did half the things that was blatant harassment that they do, all it would do is give them actual proof to go, oh, look, see, they do it. I have proof now.
Right, exactly. Pros hold, fans to a higher standards, but can't live up to those standards themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's even like that with Ren Famous, right? Like, she was all right-leaning and crazy, and then when she became left-leaning and crazy, it was okay. Like, yeah. I mean, the tweets are all there, too.
Well, what do you expect? Ren Famous is not exactly all there anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she just wants attention. Like, just whatever side will give it to her. It's like the late night comics did the same thing. He was supposedly the biggest comic skater ever, and then he basically got rejected for being extreme and went to the other side just like that. Some people just want to be extremists. They don't actually care about the community.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And let's be honest, Ren Famous, why don't you think she married such, like, the picture she has where you can see it's her and her husband mirrored, like her background or something. Like, I remember seeing a picture on her timeline because, people say something. I have her blocked, so I have to actually go to her timeline to see what it was said. And I came across this picture, and it's like, you see her husband in the mirror shaving with her doing her hair, and I'm like, why does he have the look of a man who was just pegged in the ass the night before?
Oh, good grief.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, man.
Heard it and I are the innocent ones here.
Hey, why am I getting lumped in with this?
That's right. You're the man of steel.
How it is. Throwing me under the bus right away.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying. He's got that haunted look in his eyes, like, She told me not to worry about it. I so should have worried
She
about
probably
it.
beats him or something. Poor
Right?
guy. He's probably being held hostage.
Right?
Poor guy.
I know. It's like, see, this is why friends don't let friends marry blue-haired. I'm just saying.
Well, she was saying some really crazy stuff. Like, remember that one thing? She was like saying the guy should throw his daughter in the lake because she was handicapped and stuff. Like,
Oh
she
my
said some
God.
pretty yeah, no, see, she said some pretty inexcusable stuff, and they won't call her out on it.
Yeah. Like DNC makes a crass sexual remark and he apologizes for it. And a year later, that's like the only thing anyone cares about is he made a crass sexual remark, right? Uh, I don't know. The thing, there's so much like meta discussion about Comicsgate, and I'm just sort of watching it go the way Gamergate did, and I think Gamergate was at its most successful when it was sort of calling out the fake news before the term fake news was even a thing. They were just like making it known that all of these gaming publication sites were trash, and all they were interested in doing was insulting and demeaning the gaming audience. And we have a parallel problem where comic book resources and Bleeding Cool, these are run by people with an agenda and with like a really derogatory viewpoint to people like us or anyone who even just like mildly disagrees with them. So I kind of want to. My hope for Comicsgate is that beyond just being a hashtag, is that people like get smart and we make like a really good, like a good, neat, vibrant counterpoint to the unprofessional behavior we've been seeing for the past year or so, and longer than that.
Can't argue that.
Yeah,
There's
but that's
definitely
a
a lot of
really good goal. But do you really think it'll ever happen?
I think it takes people just being smart about what they're doing. Like you have to be aware of what people who hate you want to do, and you've got to be thoughtful about what you want to do. So I see like making good culture as the antidote. So if you make like the best YouTube videos possible, and you get really good at that, that's an example of making a positive counterculture. Success is the best revenge. If you make good comic books, if you make good video games, if you make good articles, if you make good video podcasts, you are doing something as a positive counterpoint to like the toxic, nasty element that I see developing.
Oh, I absolutely
Yeah,
agree.
no,
I just think it would take a sea of pacifists to actually have that happen.
a sea of pacifists. Did you say a sea
Yeah.
of pacifists? Like they're pacifistic?
Yes, absolutely.
Right, right. And I do think that that's me. Like I take people on Twitter seriously because they're expressing like their sincere beliefs. Like some people say, don't believe everything on Twitter. And I do see Twitter as like a good representation of what the extreme is. But I do think that if you take people out of the bubble of it, I think that there's a lot of people where that doesn't play. Like my grandmother, God rest her soul, like a lifelong Democrat. She would have had no patience for this whole weird gender war and Antifa stuff. And I think there's still like a really strong segment of our country who they're just sick of like this weird obnoxiousness.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's still the case, but I thought one of the big things about Comicsgate initially was just getting politics out of comics entirely, like left or right. It just needed to all be dialed way back.
Well,
Yeah.
and like I like it when they try to make the argument that, well, comics have always been political. Yes, they have been political, but they've been political in a sense that it was a lot of metaphors, a lot of we are using elements of what's going on to make an interesting story to make you think about it. Not here's a story that's basically the same exact thing that's going on across America. We're going to be all up in your face about it. We're going to tell you how to vote with it. We're going to do everything. And if you don't like it, you're a racist, sexist, misogynistic bigot.
Yeah.
And the politics of the past was a little more broad, like the famous issue, the Neil Adams one, right, where it's the drug cover where
Mm-hmm.
it's Green Arrow and Green Lantern, and it's Red Arrow, right? And he's shooting up, and they're like, "Oh man, he's on drugs," and it was this whole big political like take on society and the drug culture and stuff. But it wasn't like you should vote this way
Yeah.
because of this problem in society. It was more about addressing that issue and having it come home in a real way, for Green Arrow. So it's like there's a place for politics, but in a more broad sense of like the society as a whole, I think, because, the art, whether it's comics or whatever, is going to be reflecting society. So I don't know.
Well, and there's
It,
nothing wrong with it reflecting society, but what we're saying that there's a problem with is the fact that they don't need to be all up in our face about the fact that, like I said, with the politics of the day, and more specifically, the politics of the writer and the artist. And
yeah,
that's where we draw the line. Where in the olden times, it was, back in the day, back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, it was all about, it wasn't the politics of the writer that was being shoved down your throat. It was the writer would add elements into the story that fit along the lines of their politics, but it was still at the end of the story, it was meant to make you think about it, but not telling you exactly what to think, how to vote, like a lot of the comic books that are out today do, except for the indies. Hashtag go to Indiegogo and support some indies. Do it now, do it now.
yeah, there's definitely a lot of good indies, and you know, the creators by and large, you can just talk to them too. They're on Twitter and they're nice people. So, it's a good example of professionalism because they want and need your support and they're passionate about what they're creating. They aren't just mandated to write about them from a publisher, right?
Well, it's not just that, it's the fact that a lot of them are fans themselves. Tim Lim got where he got because he was a fan, Same with like Cody Fernandez, Sean Campbell, Troy Torres, Brian Ball. These are all people who are the fans of comics themselves. Josh Howard is another good one. His book T-Bird and Throttle was an amazing read. I mean, and all these books so far have been really good reads. And you could tell, like you said, that they actually care. They didn't just go, "Well, we're doing this for the paycheck, la da 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 da." No, it was, "We're doing this because we actually give a shit about what we're doing." And these are stories that are precious to us, so they put a lot of effort into it, and because of that, they're actually showing the fans what professionalism looks like, excuse me, in an era where really professionalism, like Otis Frampton, once again, like Marmaduke said earlier, Otis
Yep.
Frampton showed what professionalism is supposed to mean and meant for the longest time, and showed that, yeah, you can put out comics and you don't have to be a dick to everyone.
Yeah,
And,
that's for sure. I mean, really, it's the Twitter environment where a lot of that stuff comes out. It's weird. We wouldn't even know otherwise.
uh-huh. Well, let's be honest, social media in of itself can bring out the worst aspects of a narcissist. And let's be honest, folks like Mark Wade are narcissists. Just
He's
saying.
definitely got an ego.
Mm-hmm.
But there's good ones too, like Jimmy Palmiotti on Twitter. Like he followed me, which was really surprising, and is generally just seems to keep to the comics and stuff. I don't see him posting anything political. Doc Shaner seems to be that way too. He's pretty cool.
Right.
So there's some good DC people that are still pretty chill. Some of them are out of control though, like that Vertigo editor. I used to follow him, Andy something.
Beep, beep.
What do you do?
You know who I'm talking about, Marmaduke?
I don't know.
Andy Koru or something?
It doesn't ring a bell. Can
Mm.
you remind me what happened?
Oh, it wasn't anything in particular. His posts were just always really political, so I ended up
Yeah.
not following him anymore. But you know, he's kind of in charge of a lot of these folks, though, like Zoe Quinn and
Yeah.
Roddy and other people that are working at Vertigo. So people would often bring these issues up with him, and he would never deal with it. So I guess actually that was more the issue. Is it's kind of his responsibility to be keeping these guys up to a certain level of professionalism, and he isn't
Yeah.
doing it.
And Zoe Quinn in comics is going to be interesting because I wonder if anyone's going to even be able to put her name in the title of any video they do on her because of the Gamergate fiasco. I have a feeling things are going to get a lot spicier before they get better.
Yeah, it's Andy. It's like, and then his last name's Khouuri. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he's a Vertigo editor, so he's in charge of all this stuff, like Border Town too. All that stuff's under his watch.
I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be a sense in which the unprofessionalism, you got to trace this back to the boss eventually. People can get away with what the bosses say they can get away with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some other guys that are cool. Dave in the chat here mentions Dan Jurgens, of course.
Oh.
You know, I think
yeah.
of all the people alive today, Dan Jurgens understands Superman the best. I love his writing, so that's good. He says Vendetti, which is also good. And Rapmond, yeah, Norm Rapmond. I follow him on Twitter. His art's awesome. He seems really good with the fans too. So I'd agree with all those. There's definitely some good pros, and it sucks they get less attention than the ones that are, you know, bullies essentially.
Yeah.
Scandal gets attention always, though.
Yeah, it's weird. And like Jamal Igle has his new book, The Lost Earth, I think, right? Something like that. And DNC actually gave it a really positive review. And then like 2 days later, Jamal Igle was talking crap about Comicsgate. And I was just like, I actually commented and said, oh, did you know he gave you a really positive review, but he didn't have anything to say about that. So I don't know. I still want to get his book. I think he's a good artist, but I just, you know, kind of wish they would be more professional online. I'm pretty sure it's called The Last Earth. Maybe it's The Second Earth. I'll double check. It's like an indie book though from a newer publisher. Ahoy Comics. I've always kind of liked Jamal Igle's art from his work on DC. He did a lot in the kind of mid 2000s, late 2000s.
That's kind of the period when I was out of comic books for a while. Was there anything from back there you'd really recommend I go back and look at?
Oh, there's a lot of Crisis stuff in that era. Like, have you read Blackest Night?
Oh, let me think. I haven't read Blackest Night yet. I heard people talking about it years ago and thinking, wow, that sounds cool, but I never went out and picked it up.
Oh, yeah, you got to read Blackest Night.
Okay.
There's all kinds of stuff from then. I mean, Final Crisis, Infinite Crisis, all that stuff. 52, Countdown. There's a lot of good stuff in the middle, kind of the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
It was also kind of a violent time too, like Identity Crisis and Cry for Justice, all that stuff. It was, you know, it was kind of edgy. There was a lot of edgy things, a lot more deaths and stuff. Like people are talking about Heroes in Crisis a lot lately, and it's, I don't know, it's just like stuff. I mean, it's kind of shocking, but they've done all this before as far as killing off characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't it take them? I think a lot of it is it took so long to get Wally West back, and then they killed him off.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, it's a real drag. It's weird to keep beating up on the same characters too,
Yeah.
but you'd think Identity Crisis. I mean, Roy Harper got it even worse than that, I think, because he lost his daughter, right?
Yeah.
And he lost his city, and he lost his arm. So he still lived, but it was like almost worse in a way.
Right, exactly. It was like his own personal purgatory.
So I don't know. DC doesn't like him. But this Jamal Igle book is called The Wrong Earth, is what it was called. I'm still gonna check it out, I think, but
Oh, please
it was
don't.
just ironic that, you
Don't
know,
encourage him. Please don't encourage him.
don't encourage Jamal Igle.
He once he stops being an identitarian and leaves the cultural war bullshit out of his books, then sure, I'll start being professional. But let's be honest, gotta start telling identitarians no sooner or later, and the only way to tell them no is to not buy their works. I'm just saying.
Maybe I'm too forgiving. I don't know. It's just like if he hadn't been being crazy on Twitter, I would be like one of the main kind of things I'd be interested in right now. I don't think his book is like about politics per se. DNC's review of it was more just a superhero book. But I don't know. It's tough. It's crazy too because it's from a new little publisher. Like there's all kinds of things about it that are appealing, but oh well. I'll wait and see, I guess. He's got 4 issues already lined up.
Definitely. I'm just saying, if you bring in the culture war into anything, like I try not to support you. The only reason why I saw Black Panthers is because my parents bought it. All right, so I was like, all right, I'll watch it. Same
I
thing with
still haven't seen that. What a positive review.
It's not. It's a good movie. I'm not gonna lie and say it isn't, but I'm just like, okay, dude. There's a few lines in the movie that threw me off, and I'm just like, and I'm not even gonna let those ruin the movie. For me, it's forever about the fact that the whole thing surrounding the movie, not even the movie itself. No one has seen it yet. It is still just 2-3 weeks out in theaters, and everything is about the first black cast. Wait, first black cast, first black superhero. Wait, what? Okay. So we're gonna sit here and deny
Blade.
Blade, Blank Man, hell, Steel. I mean,
I still think they need to do a remake of Steel or a reboot.
And if you want to be technical, you could even throw Blazing Saddles, the hero, in that category. And well, Shaft.
Wasn't
Dolomite.
even the CW series Black Lightning out before that?
No.
No. I thought it came out in December.
Yeah, I thought it did come out.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it did.
I could be wrong. My bad.
Well, either way, the whole point is like you're not the first one. Stop trying to say you are. All right.
Luke Cage was definitely out first. That show.
And
that's been out for a while.
Yeah. So
Luke Cage is a cool hero too.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mantis, the 90s.
Yeah. Oh, Spawn too. Remember?
Yep. So once again, your culture Roy ruined it for me. Your goddamn, because no matter how good this movie is and how much shit I would actually enjoy, all I see when I see this movie is my culture war. God, goddamn identitarians ruined a perfectly good movie for me.
Yeah, it's like that with a lot of comics too,
Yeah, Meteor Man, Midnight Cherry, thank you.
See this I don't know, this Wrong Earth book, it looks pretty cool though. It's like it could be a DC book, really. You can see the influence because it's basically like a good version and a bad version of a hero, and they kind of swap Earths, so it's why it's called The Wrong Earth.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. I like the concept. Yeah. It's kind of like friggin' Jerry Conway has written dozens and dozens and dozens of books for DC. Like he was a hugely influential person with DC, so it's just hard with a lot of these guys. I just unfollow them, I guess. Sometimes it's better not to know. Like he created Firestorm.
I don't follow them.
Yeah. I've been following less, and then plus so many too have already got me blocked before I even see them. So
So
it's kind of a drag.
my response to that, if I come across a profile that has me blocked, especially if it's like a pro, it's like, "Oh, fuck you, block back. Just be a principal, damn it."
Yeah. It's usually just surprising. A lot of times I'll be going to at that pro because I like their book, and then I see they've already blocked me, and it's like, oh, well, I guess never mind. I won't promote your book. That's literally happened a couple times.
I know. I don't blame you.
It's weird. It's the block bots, I think.
Well, my whole thought is it, they sit there and say my harassment and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Which side has the receipts of the harassment and which side doesn't? I'm just saying. You hear a lot of talk from them about how all the harassment they do, but this side has all the proof of, yes, indeed, the harassment did happen, and unfortunately, you know what I mean? Their side never produces it. We drop ours like a dime. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Evidence speaks louder than words, right?
Yeah, so that's why they block us, because we can
Yeah.
sit there and be like, we will be like, proof. 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 We have proof. Do you have proof?
Archive everything. Archive everything, so in case they lie about you later. And I'm at the point where I just say, I don't like call for formal boycotts. It's just there's like the de facto boycott of, if I'm not enthusiastic about your work, I'm not going to end up buying it. And I've been disenthused by that treatment. So I'm not going to lose my enthusiasm for comics. I'm just going to focus my enthusiasm on someone else in comics who's, cooler.
Exactly. Like T-Bird and Throttle, dude. I know you
Yep.
were interested in the book. I can personally vouch for that book. I can. I got the, like I said, I got the review out. Read that book. Anyone who, I can tell everyone here, go out and back that book. I'm
Definitely.
telling you, go to the Indiegogo and back it. It is a excellent read, and it is a prime example. Josh Howard is a good example of a professional. His Dead at 17 was on Image, so he's worked on one of the labels that we've had problems with lately, and now he's doing his own thing, and he's been pretty much like, look, I don't care what you are, I don't care who you are, back my book. It's for everybody. Buy it, please. And it's a good book. It's the way he described it. It is not the deconstruction of a hero, but the reconstruction of a deconstructed hero.
Yep. And a solid art style too, like kind of an animated series, slight influence from Bruce Timm animated series style.
Yes, and it works, dude. It works. I'm telling you, back that book. You will love it.
It's a lot of good projects right now.
Oh yeah, I can vouch for Sporkman too.
Oh yeah,
Conventions. So it's one of those, and these are from creators that respect the fans, and that's something that these big guys are always complaining, like, why does everybody hate us and not buy our books? Why are we constantly having to cancel this? Why are we losing money? Pretty simple, yes, pure and simple. Because you don't respect the fans. You don't engage the fans. You blockbot everyone who actually wants to be like, hey, how you doing? And the guys that you don't block, that you believe have quote unquote right think, they're all not really buying the comics. They're pirating them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big problem. I saw Regs was posting about that quite a bit. He seemed pretty upset. Did you guys see that?
Oh yeah, I seen that today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. That sucks, but piracy.
Yeah, especially because I think that book's what, $1 on Cosmicology. Why would you pirate for $1?
Yeah, pure and simple. Pure and simple.
Yeah, it's people just get used to getting everything for free, I guess. I don't know. There's no real excuse for it, especially with something like that where it's, I don't know, creator owned and everything.
Yeah, that's real. That's really silly. I got that when it came out just to check it out, and it was 99 cents on Cosmicology. What? That's so stupid.
Right. Never ending quest to get pants, I'm just saying. I love Brian for that. That is a brilliant idea. But no, I'm just saying. And then you got Wanpool, another good read.
Yep.
I could vouch for that one.
Oh yeah.
And Red Ninja Momiji. And what's neat about Sporkman is they're all working to. It's dependent upon stretch goals, but uh, the artist for Red Ninja Momiji, he's going to do the color for Sporkman. If they can reach a stretch goal, they're going to do a print of Red Ninja Momiji, which might be like our only chance to get a print of it in the States. So I'd encourage everyone to support Sporkman if you haven't already. I think they've got a month left, and they're like about halfway to their goal. So that could use some, hashtag move the needle.
Definitely.
It's the right mental attitude, because they are like looking at lots of creators in like the Twitter sphere, bringing them together for a project and trying to like build enthusiasm based on multiple projects. So I'm really rooting for Sporkman, because it illustrates that I think it illustrates that there are creators who are doing different types of projects who can kind of like pool their audiences and pool their creative potential.
Absolutely. It's one of the best examples of collaboration we have right now. It's really cool. And it's a good buy too. I mean, if they meet all their stretch goals, you get the 4 Sporkman comics plus the Red Ninja comic plus Wanpool, and you can buy in at $12. So it's kind of really good deal if you think about it.
Oh yeah. But the whole point is these are all books that, I guess you could say the overlying theme. All these Indiegogos have been possible because the creators and people who worked on these books all have a very, let's treat our customers right, mentality. Let's be kind to our customers. Let's show them the respect that we want, we wish we could get from the pros within DC and Marvel. And that's like that right there. They engage nicely. Thank you for buying our products. La da 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 da. You know, and just treat people like people. And what happens? Don't bring up politics. Word. That's all they ask. Don't bring up politics. Let's just talk comics. It's like
You can read a good book and not get called a white incel all at the same time. It's amazing.
I know, right? It's like, oh god. Oh my god, it's a revolutionary idea.
We should all list off some books we think people should support, just kind of to get like a good checklist going. So to review, okay, we've talked about Sporkman and Red Ninja Momiji and Wanpool. We talked about Otis Frampton's with Image, but he was a great positive example of professionalism. Nerdette, you mentioned Brian. What was it?
Brian Edward Hill?
Brian Edward Hill. Yeah. So what are some others that people can think of?
Ryan Wynn, right? He's pretty cool. He's been supportive of my channel, and he's really good with the fans.
Awesome.
He's done work for DC and Valiant, but he also has his own little comics publisher called Novelty Comics. So they have some books on there too. You can buy for $1 on comics.
Yeah, I forget what it was. It's with the girl. I actually read it, the first one.
Death Betty?
Yes, Death Betty. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, see, he's a cool guy. He gave me the first 2 issues, so nice. That's like his book. He draws it and everything. So yeah, definitely check out Death Betty. It's a good indie book.
What about Nasser? What is his new book?
Stardust?
He's got Stardust.
Yeah, Stardust.
And what's his other one? Brutus?
Brutus the Badass.
Yep, Brutus.
With Donald DeLay.
Donald DeLay. And I'll add John Dillard gaming the system, the official fan artist at Comicsgate. He's funding. He's already finished Black Emerald, but he's funding it just to do like a victory lap on it. And he's working on a new comic called The Last Judge that's going to have like gonna be like a boxer who's like the last descendant of Samson, and it's gonna have like all this like supernatural stuff. So it looks completely dope, and he's already like a professional level artist as just like a average guy trying to break into the comic industry. So I really want to see him get some support as well.
Definitely.
That'd be cool.
All right.
Oh, and Beatdown Girl, right?
Yes.
Oh,
he's,
yes, Jake Bill.
Big deal. Yeah.
he's at New York Comic Con right now.
Yes, really cool guy. Really cool guy.
He's got his own booth there. It sounds like he's looking for a publisher. It's pretty awesome.
Right. I will be happy to say I had him on a meeting of the minds, like I'd say the couple weeks when he had like a couple weeks left on his Indiegogo run, and so he talked about it a lot there. Basically, she's like this. How do I explain it? I can't even explain it because of the fact that it's all about girl loses her family, gets basically found out she's rich so she can get this augmentation, and like that's about as much as I can remember because I wanted to get the book so I could get it proper without having it spoiled, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
It's like no. I've read so many of these books. This is one that I don't want to have spoiled because it looks so unique and I want to actually enjoy it.
Yeah, it looks good. The art looks really good.
Yes, exactly. Would you not want a book that looks like that spoiled, especially when you know it's going to be full of action?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
What's the social media for that one? Do either of you know off the top of your head?
Like his Twitter?
Yeah.
I think it's just Jake Bill.
We can pull it up.
I know the Beatdown Girl has her own. Yeah, it's just at Jake Beal.
Yeah.
BIHL. Yeah. Great guy.
I keep it simple.
Beatdown Girl's kind of fun because she role plays and like what is it? Like her character is that she's pretty blunt. So it's a lot of fun watching her too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. You know something about playing characters, right? You have no clue about what that is. Bob Jones is just who you are.
Nope. I don't know what you're talking about there, Marmaduke. It's one of those things. It's a mystery to mankind. All they know that the man, the myth, the legend, Bob Jones, brought forth to save mankind from the reticuloids and the soy.
And we're glad to have you.
Exactly. I have you know, I've spent many a night fighting the reticuloids, many nights of hunting. I haven't found a single one, but I tell you what, I know they're out there. I will find them.
I believe it.
Thank you, kind sir. Thank you. No, my whole thing, though, is that, like, if you want to talk about a character, Colonel Comics, I don't care what anyone says, that's hilarious to me.
Yeah. I haven't seen him as much lately. Is he still doing his thing?
Well, he fell into the war campaign lot. And yeah.
I guess I don't follow a lot of those guys. I follow a couple of them, but
I haven't seen pretty much most of them on, except for Critias since. Like, Critias is the only one I've seen that's still about. Like, I don't see much of Pando. I don't see much of Ro. I don't see much of anyone. Like, granted, I don't think I followed Pando.
I just see Edwin, the ace guy. That guy.
Oh yeah, I've seen him too.
That he was one of them.
And Critias.
But yeah, I haven't seen Colonel Comics quite that much. He used to pop up in these kind of things and streams and comments and stuff. I haven't seen him
Yes.
as much lately.
Be like, make his comment about something we said, and then end with Colonel Comic away.
Yeah, he was pretty consistent with that for a while.
Right. It's like, what happened? What did they
I don't
do?
know.
Comics. What
Did you see
the
what he
fuck?
looks like though, with his outfit, like all black with the?
Yeah, dude.
Oh man,
Dude, no. His first on screen appearance was actually on a meeting of the minds.
Oh wow.
Yes.
really?
Yes. Avid got a screenshot of it and actually drew a picture of it.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's intense.
He had within a couple days from that one shot, one appearance, fan art on Twitter.
Nice.
Oh, crazy stuff.
We do have a
Yeah,
lot
there's
of
so many.
characters, Nurkish and Cecil and Colonel Comics. You know, if nothing, we're going to get some like some great clownish behavior out of all of this.
Oh yeah,
Well,
Hey, gang,
no.
and then there's a comic.
I'm gonna have to duck out for like early morning shift tomorrow. So I love you guys. Looking forward to chatting to you all soon. I'll be checking out Nerdette, Bob Jones, and you, of course, DC fans. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad you made it. Thanks for being here.
Have a nice chat, you
Bye.
guys. Catch you later.
Later,
See you
Mama.
later.
Bye.
When the dog was still here.
Right. Well, I didn't trust that dog.
Aw.
He was all cartoony. And how did he talk? I don't understand it.
Old Marmaduke. He's a
Exactly.
good guy though.
Oh yeah.
That was a pretty fun stream. I guess we'll probably wrap it up. Did you
Okay.
guys have any like final thoughts?
Um,
No?
You know, I could always do a final thought in Bob Jones for you.
Oh yeah?
Buy indie comics, or else the reticuloids are gonna get you in your sleep. And
More of a threat than anything.
well, see, they infest you with soy. They don't hurt you. They just slowly infest you with the soy. I've seen it happen. He was once a cool guy. He was once a cool guy.
And the soy got him.
Exactly.
Well, there's definitely a lot of good projects out there, though. Hopefully, people will check them out.
Definitely. Like I said, a lot of them I've read and can personally vouch for.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the cool thing about it is, you know, you can talk to these people directly if you have questions about it. It's a nice thing with the creators. They're real down to earth usually.
You sure?
But I guess that's all for now. Thanks everybody for watching. It was a lot of fun. And thank you all for being here.
Later, folks.
Bye.